Hey, good morning. This is Gordon Kriebel at Perk Pet Eatery. My wife Sue and I are the owners. We're celebrating our 11th year in business now, and I wanted to produce a video this season that kind of like backs up our position to no longer carry any chemical-based flea and tick products as have been traditionally represented in our industry for a long time. And I wanted to give you a background on our information, why we made that decision. Our philosophy is going to be look to nature. So all of these things basically are derived botanically. In most cases, the items that we're representing in our flea and tick program would represent things that the EPA deems as safe for their intended use. And there is an act under the EPA that's actually the 25B listing of several insecticides, botanicals, and others that are considered safe for their intended use directly by the EPA. And our product offerings this year are going to focus primarily on those items. On the first part of the control program, I want to focus for the pet directly and what we can use on our pets to put together a good flea and tick control program. So there are several items that we have that offer good application. There is spot-on products by this company Alzu. There's both a cat and a dog in a tube, and these are applied in a similar fashion to the Frontlines and the Canine Advantix products that you're familiar with. But in this case, you're using strictly a botanical oil in an oil base that will have no neurotoxicity or side effects to your pet. So these would be one option. Additionally, from Alzu, there are repelling collars, again generating no neurotoxicity, just the mechanical, botanically based killing properties that are inherent to the oils that are in the product. Directly on the animal are flea and tick shampoos, and this one is an oatmeal base from Natural Chemistry. This particular product line is new to our store this season. It complements our Alzu offering that we had last year. This one is called their natural line. There are sprays to go directly on the animal and also shampoos. And in addition, Natural Chemistry offers a de-flea line, and this is a quick kill product. So this will immediately kill fleas and ticks. And this uses a product, the short name for it is 3 letters, DSS. But it's dioctyl sodium sulfosuccinate, okay? So it's DSS. But basically this is a food grade emulsifier that's common in drinks and sport drinks and milk, and it's a stabilizer in the food industry. So the safety factors inherent in this is not a totally natural product, but it's extremely safe, and it will give you very quick killing properties for fleas and ticks. So moving on from there, there is also little items that can act as a repellent spray that you can keep in your travel bags. You can keep them in your car. These things can be applied when your dog's out walking on a trail or somewhere where you're traveling that your dog might have a risk of infestation from ticks or fleas. So those are items that we stock. They're both Alzu and then also Pet Naturals of Vermont. I wanted to stress also the yard. So we do have products that work in the yard. This one actually is compliant, has an attachment for a hose end sprayer. So this can be applied to your yard to control fleas and ticks where your dog has the most common access, outside. And there is no organophosphates or neurotoxic chemicals that are used in these products. Also mechanically, in the yard, diatomaceous earth can be used. And I have big bags of it. This is a 4-pound bag. And there's also a smaller size shaker container here that can be used on bedding or inside the house or also in small areas outside. So this works mechanically to break the outer shell of the flea and dehydrate the flea. So there's a lot of good properties to these items. Also, in the house, there are now items that are tested safe for your bedding and your furniture. There's a bee flea spray that immediately kills on bedding surfaces that we now have available. And again, the diatomaceous earth crosses over and it works very well in your carpeting in the house to kill fleas and ticks on contact by dehydration. Another area I wanted to cover today is immune system health. Basically, fleas and ticks are less likely to become a problem on the host animal if there's a strong immune system health to that animal. So on that notion, I have a couple of supplements that support immune system health in relationship to flea control. So there's one by Earth Animal, there's also another by Canine Granola Factory. These items will be supplements that you can give orally that will build and boost the amount of vitamins that act as a repelling barrier to parasites. Okay? And another point on that same notion is nutrition. And I wanted to make a plea for you to feed the very best you can nutritionally. Make sure your dog gets a complete array of vitamins and minerals. Make sure that that animal has the strongest immune system possible by good nutrition, by supplements, by anything you can do to improve the availability of nutrition that your dog needs. This will help you ward off fleas and ticks for the season as well. A traditional way of killing fleas and ticks in the past has been through neurotoxicity. In other words, through toxins to the nervous system of the flea. First of all, you have an old group of chemicals called organophosphates. And organophosphates, many have been banned for use in the United States and other countries. For example, I think you can remember DDT as an example of an old school organophosphate. And DDT basically was very toxic to the environment, aquatic life. Birds, suffered, their shells and all suffered from chemical use in the environment. So other ones have come and gone. Dursban. There's been a bunch of other. Lindane is another example of an organophosphate that has been tested to be very highly carcinogenic, toxic to the environment, toxic to animals and reproduction in the environment. So that's the direction that organophosphates represent. The neurotoxicity works on a level of, this is a big word, it's cholinesterase inhibitor. Basically, cholinesterase inhibition means a relay system to the brain that is broken, or it's a synapse or a pause that is broken. Let's suppose that you're standing next to your significant other and you just suddenly were to go over and stomp their foot. And in that instant, your body would then trigger a pain relay that would go through your body, and then followed by this release of enzymes that would counteract that pain relay, and that would lessen that pain response. So you're no longer excited by that pain response, and you don't stay in that excited state. You calm down by the enzymes that are released following that. In the case of old school chemicals, these neurotoxins, they break that relay system. So in essence, when a flea is coming in contact with these old school chemicals and neurotoxins, the pain response causes excitation and basically leading to paralysis and death of the parasite. Okay? But these things can also trigger responses of some minor toxic effects or reactive effects in your pet. Also, we're with pyrethrin, which is a pyrethroid, basically pyrethrins, permethrins. Pyrethrin and synergizers have been used to kill fleas on contact. that's another method that's been out there for a long time. There is some sensitivity to these chemicals, been demonstrated in the past. Other families such as carbamates, an old flea powder, for example, the chemical 7 that's used to dust crops, and I think it is still approved for crop dusting. It may have been removed by the EPA. It may still be lingering, some of the things that you have in your garage. But that is an example of an old school a carbamate, which is also a neurotoxin drug. This month in April, our Paw Prints magazine is coming out and will feature an article on natural flea and tick control. So I urge you to read that, come into the store, grab a copy, and take that home. And we want to also introduce you to this full product line, and I know it's going to be some questions involved with that, but our staff is receiving training on how to deal with situations that involve cats, dogs, and all of the needs that you might have for flea and tick control. So we urge you to come in, grab a copy of Paw Prints, read the article, ask our questions staff, and we hope we can service your needs this season.